And this gets to the whole problem with the 1619 Project. It's a worthy conversation to have.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
should be honest and brutally honest about our own history with slavery, but we can't just make it up.
Right. Right.
And this was kind of when you weighed in, you said it more elegantly than this, but like, guys, you're just making that up.
That's essentially what happened. And I mean, I distinctly remember the morning the 1619 Project came out in print. So they put it was August 2019. They put a big fancy print issue of the New York Times, and I pulled it up on my computer screen that morning. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. They've launched a new project to look at the historical legacy of slavery. Here I am as an economic historian that works very heavily in this area. Of course I'm going to be interested. And I thought initially it was going to be a successor to an earlier project the Times had done. So between 2011 and 2015, they ran a series called Disunion that commemorated the 150th anniversary of the American Civil War. And it had hundreds of scholars contributed to it. It was looking at the legacy of the Civil War. Slavery is obviously a very prominent part of that. I actually wrote several pieces for it, but so did hundreds of other historians, scholars that work in that era. And I thought, okay, well, the New York Times is doing a successor project. Then I start to read it, and I find immediately, just off the bat, there are two themes that stand out to me. One is it's very explicitly ideological. This was not historical analysis. It was more geared to, say, a 2020 political election than it was to looking at the past. And then the second feature of it is that they asked all sorts of authors to contribute to it that were not really experts in the subject matters that they were writing about, and they made basic fundamental factual errors that were all in the service of these political themes they're trying to prop up.
I had forgotten until today when I was reviewing some of this that this was in the context of Trump's reelection, and it, from your telling, was basically a political project.
It's a campaign piece.
Yeah, but a couple of the themes that are relevant to those of us that believe in freedom and the market process and all of that was that the basic argument is that capitalism, free market, American style, constitutional capitalism. I don't like to use the C word because I think it's misleading, but let's just use it because they're using it, that it doesn't work without the slave economy.
Right. So this is the thing that jumps out. I didn't focus immediately on the Nicole Hannah-Jones essay, which is the lead essay. It's the one that's been the source of most of the controversy. It's actually the second essay in the 1619 Project that really caught my attention early on. And this is by a sociologist from Princeton University by the name of Matthew Desmond. And it's the title of the essay is basically Capitalism and Slavery. And what Desmond did is he basically makes an argument that American capitalism, and by that he means a stand-in for free market, laissez-faire theory, low taxes, low regulation, everything that we as economic free market liberals believe in. He says it's infused with the brutality of the slave system. And to make this argument, because he's very clearly trying to discredit capitalism today, and he says this in the piece, he wants things like socialized medicine and higher taxes and wealth redistribution, all the standard fare progressive left policy agenda. But his way of arguing for that is not considering those policies and their merits. It's saying that capitalism itself is tainted from the origin in the United States by being wedded at the hip to slavery.